the CO2 possibility in the atmosphere, keep going, and if we're complacent, then I think we could, there's some risk of sort of non-linear climate change.
Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we will discuss how the world's richest man, Elon Musk, talked about his stand on climate change. We will also be discussing how he plans to fight against climate and rebalance the Earth's carbon cycle. Make sure you watch it until the end so you don't miss out on the juiciest part of this comparison. Without further ado, let's dive into it. Elon Musk's stand on fighting climate change. Elon Musk, known to be the world's richest billionaire, has recently revealed his stand on climate change and plans on eradicating carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. SpaceX and Tesla CEO, who is Time magazine's current person of the year back in 2018, Elon Musk declared that climate change is the biggest threat that humanity faces this century. However, he had already backed up that concern by building two very successful companies capable of directly reducing carbon emissions, which are Tesla and SolarCity. And a year ago, he was also super fired up that the new administration is focused on climate. It's not surprising that Musk's socially responsible message of warning about the environmental crisis, combined with his massive capital success building electric vehicles (EVs), has given him a messianic status among some of his many admirers. But this status also means that by attacking the Build Back Better legislation, which is by far the United States' most significant legislation ever aimed at fighting climate change, Musk is providing ammunition to climate deniers and fossil fuel industry opponents of efforts to protect the United States from climate change, create good jobs, and lead the world in technology and policies. Musk made the surprising comment in one of his recent interviews about efforts to combat climate change. On the shop floor of his new Tesla Giga-Texas factory, Musk repeatedly declared that he didn't support President Biden's Build Back Better legislation or government incentives generally. The government, he said, should just play referee. Musk's fortune was built upon billions in federal and state government subsidies, policies, and regulations. Business Insider detailed the $4.9 billion in government support that Tesla, SpaceX, and SolarCity have received since 2010, including a $465 million loan from the Obama administration in 2010 to support Tesla's development. Musk's companies have also received billions in subsidies in other major markets, including the European Union and China. And ironically, the Tesla Giga-Texas factory, where Musk said he opposed government incentives, was built with millions of dollars in state and county tax breaks and other incentives. In addition to direct funding, Tesla's survival has also relied on selling regulatory credit to other car manufacturers. To address climate change, California and 12 other states have adopted programs requiring car manufacturers to sell a certain percentage of zero-emitting vehicles every year, allowing companies that missed the mark to instead buy credits from companies with a surplus. Because Tesla only sells electric cars, it sells a huge number of these credits for significant profits, which have been a lifesaver for the company. In 2010, the $1.6 billion in credits Tesla sold overweighed its net income of $721 million, and reports indicate that over the past 5 years, Tesla gained $3.3 billion from this government program. At Tesla's most recent net profit margin of around 7%, $3.3 billion in net profit translates into $46 billion in additional sales, or as much as Tesla's revenues for 12 months throughout September 2021. Elon Musk is often accused of neglecting problems on Earth in favor of conducting his private space program. The accusation is unfair on a number of levels. After all, Musk also runs an electric car company. The well-known space entrepreneur announced a new initiative that may prove flying into space could also be beneficial to Earth via his Twitter account. The billionaire is pushing ahead with an attempt to utilize emissions contributing to climate change, tweeting that his rocket company will launch a program to remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and use it to power rockets. He tweeted, SpaceX is starting a program to take CO2 out of the atmosphere and turn it into rocket fuel. Please join if interested. The emission of greenhouse gases by humans, such as carbon dioxide, into the atmosphere leads to changes in the climate. Musk's proposal has interesting implications for the issue and the accusations that he wants to abandon Earth to go live on Mars. This project will help alleviate climate change on Earth and be instrumental to Musk's desire to build a settlement on Mars. Production of rocket fuel with CO2 is the easy part of the proposal. A Nobel Prize-winning chemist named Paul Sabatier invented a century-old process by combing CO2 with hydrogen and a catalyst to create methane and water. Musk's rocket, being developed by SpaceX in Boca Chica, Texas, uses engines that burn liquid methane and liquid oxygen. NASA uses the Sabatier system on the International Space Station (ISS) to create water for the crew. The methane is vented from the ISS. The more challenging part of Musk's plan will be getting the CO2 out of the atmosphere. The idea that removing carbon from the air would reduce the Earth's greenhouse gases and thus alleviate climate change is controversial. The new initiative to make rocket fuel would rely on a type of technology, direct air capture (DAC), still in its early stages of development. Take, for example, a project reported by TechCrunch, which is being conducted by a company called Climeworks in Iceland. Thus far, the company spends an estimated amount between $600 and $800 to remove a ton of carbon dioxide, which is considered prohibitively expensive. But Climeworks are working towards making the project more economically feasible by reducing the cost to between $100 and $200 a metric ton, also known as a ton. Another form of carbon capture involves sequestering CO2 directly from power plants. Indeed, Net Power has a pilot plant a few hours' drive away from the Boca Chica in La Porte, Texas. It burns natural gas but saves and stores CO2 emissions. This definitely brings up a series of questions that we need to ask. The first is, if Elon Musk could buy the CO2 he needs from the Net plant or a similar source? Perhaps, but ever the environmentalist, then Musk might be reluctant to ship the gas to Boca Chica by diesel-fueled tanker truck. Would Tesla be interested in developing an electric-powered tanker truck? In any case, Musk is interested in developing both the carbon capture from the air and the Sabatier technologies for his planned settlements on Mars. The idea is to capture CO2 from the Martian atmosphere, hydrogen from water ice, and then convert them to rocket fuel for spacecraft headed back to Earth from the Red Planet. Musk, with his aim of eradicating carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, has funded a $100 million X Prize to encourage development of carbon capture technologies, noting that, to win the grand prize, teams must demonstrate a working solution at a scale of at least 1,000 tons removed per year, model their costs at a scale of 1 million tons per year, and show a pathway to achieving a scale of gigatons per year in future. If and when a direct air capture solution is achieved, a win-win result will have been achieved. Human civilization will have available one or more technologies that will go a long way towards solving the climate crisis, thus giving Elon Musk a source of CO2 to make his own rocket fuel and to continue pursuing his grand design to build a Mars settlement. Another of his plans is to take humans back to the moon, among other goals. A rocket whose engines burn liquid methane and liquid oxygen will create water and CO2 in its exhaust. But a world that has technology that can capture carbon from the atmosphere will likely be more than able to handle the situation. With that, we are at the end of this video. We hope you guys enjoyed the video, and let us know what your thoughts are on his fight against climate change and the steps he is taking to combat it down in the comment section. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for further updates. See you guys later. Bye!